and welcome to week 16 of the OrkneyBowl podcast, and welcome, Craig.
Good morning, Johnny. How are we?
I'm not bad, thanks. It's been a good weekend for some teams and some not for others, but
it has been, yeah. Well, that's playoff football for you, and this is us. 1 week to go. We're going to see finalists. Finalists are plenty now, and this is the big week. This is the week that the prizes are handed out, that the money's handed out. And we're going to find ourselves our first inaugural OrkneyBowl champion at the end of this week, Johnny.
I know, and obviously this week we have actually found the very first Rousay Cup winner this week, because it finished this week. But we'll start off with the highest scoring team of the week. They got not surprised they had Amari Cooper in their team.
Well, it was always going to. This was always going to be whoever had Flacco and Cooper. There was never going to be the highest score of the week was always going to involve those two. And at this stage of the season, there's not many people chucking in Joe Flacco, and their team. Yes, many will have Amari Cooper, but the likes of Joe Flacco and stuff. So it makes a big difference at this point, especially when you're playing in a kind of 12-way for top team only wins. If you've got Flacco and Cooper, you're rubbing your hands with glee.
I know, and obviously because they only had DeVito on the bench, he didn't make it past the half. But no, it's a pretty solid team there. Can't argue with that one. Obviously, they were number one in the division, but that was the division that anybody could have won going into the last week.
That's
it. Nice to get a good win. So.
Literally, only the kicker was the only player not to score double digits. So that's that epitomises consistency, Johnny, and that's what wins at this stage of the season.
I know, it's crazy because you could have Robinson over Wicks and been in the 300 club.
Indeed,
but, it's a cracking score and what you want in the second leg of the Carabao Trophy, because this is the final standings.
The right score at the right time. So there you go. So what have we got? We have
Dublin Everton Blues coming with a 258 points in the second one, with 455 points. Unfortunately, Carlton Crew after fun 276 ended up with 196. But hopefully score corrections don't bugger that one up.
No, I don't think it will. But congratulations to Danny and his Dublin Everton Blues, who will play off for the represent the East Conference. And
Gareth Ballard with the highest score, 282, but he did only score 177 in week 15. But that second score just whooshed him right up. But this was close anyway, but it was like 40 points, 50 points behind. Roughly.
50 points ahead of second place, and that 50 points ahead of second place and within the week. That makes that's the difference, and that's the Amari Cooper and Joe Flacco effect there. That's the difference, and it's given them a comfortable victory in the West Conference. For the Gothenburg Angels, but the South London Rebels can feel a little bit hard done to that they've been done over like that. Scored over 200 both weeks. Same with Bognor Regis Falcons, 214, 215, very consistent. Turbanville Titans, 217, 204. Yeovil Winners, 224, 201. 2 weeks over 200 points, and you're getting absolutely pummeled because someone's getting 292 points. So it's harsh, but it is what it is. It's the way the game goes. Kirkwall Raiders and Allen as well down there, 220 and 209, and not even close. And in the East, it's going to be the Dublin Everton Blues who are representing, despite a 9-5 record, by the way. So that's good playoff stuff from Danny.
I know. And we'll find out later how they did in the playoffs, but you can imagine they were playing. It's pretty close in their playoff match, But
I mean, the scores up here are a whole lot tighter. Obviously, Carlton Crew have got to feel hard done to, very, very, very hard done to after 276 week one. Just goes to show you it's never over till it's over, Johnny.
I know, that's it. Because there was a few in the actual running for the Rousay Cup had close games and turned around last minute, but not as much as that bigger figure. But
missing out by 3 points is harsh, and then Alaskan Deep Freeze as well. They're on 469, so 469 is only 6 behind. In fact, if Carlton Crew was in the West Conference, they would be in the final.
Yeah.
But and then Alaskan Deep Freeze 469, very very close as well, very unlucky. Leeds Lasso's at 450, very unlucky. So yeah, lots of teams had great chances running right to the death, and we'll probably see when we dip in that there'll be one player, say Carlton Cruz sitting with Jalen Waddle, for example. What would happen if Waddle had finished the game, etc. But that's why we all love the game, and that's why we all hate the game so much.
It is indeed, it definitely is. So we'll get on to the group, the stages, and we'll start off with the St Magnus division. So, what's the playoff bracket?
Yeah, so you've got in the play. So we have Jack's, right? Apparently I owe an apology. I'm not sure why, but
well, I'm pretty sure last week you said that Jack had not a hope in hell of winning against Leeds Lasso, or something similar along those lines. So he was pretty quick off the mark, asking for an apology.
I am not convinced I went that deep on it, but right, okay, I doff my hat. When he is wrong, he is wrong.
And he is a Packers fan as well, so there you go. So you're a Packers in the final.
So we always like to see the Packers fans winning. But great win, 225 points against Leeds Lassos, and Leeds Lassos got to feel a little bit hard done with 11-3 regular season records, But Kamara's let them down this week in a big way. When you've got a receiving core that's got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jefferson and Debo, that's one hell of a receiver room.
But no points for Frymouth, though. That was not even a target for Frymouth.
Yeah, no, nothing for Frymouth. That was harsh, and that's cost them dear. But you look down at you look at the defense, and he's lost the defense by 30 points, and that therein lies the difference, and that's massive, So great win for Leeds Lasso, great win for Whitworth Rockstars, sorry, and they will go on and they will play in the final. They will be playing
EK Colts. So the one and the 2 seed both lost this week.
They did. Yes, Stoke and Bengals got. When you're only scoring 179 points, you're kind of that your chances are slim. Tony Pollard has been such a disappointment for Stoke the whole entire season long. Stefan Diggs as well has been off all year, But Myers got nothing. An absolute goose egg for the kicker, and Jewel only getting 7 points is kind of that's where it's hurt them. But EK Colts, obviously they've burst out. They've got McCaffrey sitting there. They've got Lamb sitting there. I tell you, he's going to need a good performance from Adams this week if he's going to do something. If he's going to go on and win it. It's that's a massive one. But yeah, so it's Whitworth Rockstars against EK Colts in the East, Johnny. And
who are you going to go for?
Looking at these matchups, looking at the matchups for the final, if Jacobs doesn't play, then Whitworth Rockstars and Jackson, if Jacobs is out and he's getting another run out of White, then that's got to be helpful for him. And they are playing Indianapolis, who aren't the best against the run, so that would be huge. He's got Russell Wilson in at quarterback against the crappy LA Chargers. So,
well, that's a good one.
Notice I didn't say Clippers this time.
You didn't say Clippers this time. He's got Chase in. I don't know if Chase is back. He might be. Hopefully. They'll be hoping he's back, but
I'm not sure that he is. But, he's got Gabe Davis plugged in there against the Patriots as well, and we all know what Davies is. Davies could win him the game and he could lose him the game, and probably not a whole lot in between. Whereas EK Colts, they're going for a little bit of consistency. They've got McCaffrey, Etienne and Lamb all with good matchups. Going to need Adams to step up a little bit and do something in Indianapolis, because this 2 and 3 points for Adams is not going to be sitting well with them. Of course, you've got Mostert there, but they've got Baltimore, and that's a tough game. And so he's got options on the bench. So has the EK Colts. They've got Williams sitting on the bench. We've got Downs on the bench. We've got Taysom Hill on the bench. Dawson Knox on the bench.
Yeah, they've got.
Whereas I do think Whitworth Rockstars team's kind of picking itself,
So So are you going to go with Jack this week, or are you going to go against him? I'm going to go EK Coates because he already hammered me, so I've got to stick with it.
I mean, this is a problem. I mean, if you look at it, it's again much like what we were looking at before, and what you see, this is a 7. This is the final is the 7-7 EK Colts against the 8-6 Whitworth Rockstars. And
that's why you look back. That's why you like playoff football. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take Whitworth Rockstars. There you go, Jackson. I've got your back, pal. Only because I don't want shouted at in the extreme draft thread. So.
And obviously we've got Doug against Webby One in the consolation, I think, and Hot Dogs. So it's only 4 games. 4 games.
Yeah, so I mean, Doug's done well to get to the final of the card. So it's Doug and so we will have Doug and
Webby One. They're in your division.
We'll have Doug and we'll have Doug in the Portsmouth Pirates. So Doug's and the Portsmouth Pirates will be joining me and Division 3. And
the winner
of Gaming Teacher, Laxdale Legends against the Hot Dog Hot Shots shall join us. And the loser of that will be joining the Plymouth Argyle Browns in the Rotherham Raiders and Division 4 next year of the East.
And of course, the loser of the Stockholm Bengals and Leeds Lassos will be in the 2nd division with myself.
They will be.
So I've got a lot to play for if you want to finish in the top division. You've got to beat that one, so that'll be a close game there too, actually, I think. So.
Well, this is effectively playoff and relegation now, isn't it? For the 3rd and 4th place game and for the 9th and 10th place game, you're playing for promotion or relegation. You're playing for the 3rd division or the 4th division or the 1st division and the 2nd division. But it's a game and you've got a reason for playing. The 11th and 12th place, the Blacks sorted out now, that's gone. Yeah. And the 5th and 6th, they're already done, obviously. So there's 4 teams with nothing to play for. And then the other 8 teams all have something to play for, but no one more so than the EK Colts and the Whitworth Rockstars. So good luck, gentlemen.
Have a good final. So we'll go on to the SNB division.
So this is my division, where once again, Johnny, what's the script, man? Why is it I always get too little too late, Johnny? Why? Tell me why. I mean, honestly,
funny.
Another week, another 200 point. Ever since I topped 200, I've not dipped under it since. That's about 5 games in a row now. I've won something stupid for 4 games in a row or something that I'm on of a win streak, but it matters not a jot. Not a jot.
You're getting in the same division as Doug.
Well, I'm in the 3rd division. It's got me in the 3rd division, and Darlington Rams are going to be joining me. Sam's joining me in the 3rd division, also with again the 2nd best score of the week in the division. But that's the way it goes. Either of us in the top leagues, and we're and we're in the finals, but we're not. And congratulations to Graham and his Glasgow Eagles who beat Ancoats Citizens, and the favourites.
This is a crazy one, this one, because all the way through, right up to the last night, it looked like Graham was going to lose. It looked that way the whole way, and he just come out and got him at the end there. But
yeah, well, having Warner on the Warner 21.5 points for Warner right at the death, that's always going to help, from your defender.
20 points for Swift as well. So yeah, it was a.
But he's got Etienne's been disappointing, and he was again this week. But yeah, I mean, this is Ancoats Citizens. Just Williams is at a bad week at the wrong time. He's rolled the dice with Quentin Johnston, thinking they've got no one else to throw to, but they've not got anyone to throw it to. That stick boy's useless, really. Laporta's had a bad week at the wrong time. Walker and Chandler both not doing well, and an absolute good
game. Seems to be a theme that one. No points for Lutz loses you again.
Yeah, it's and it's lost. And a lot of these scores I've got. I know we've looked at some pretty big scoring so far, but this wasn't the high scoring of weeks, Johnny. 210, 220, 230. They were really good scores this week.
But it's enough to get Graham through, so well done.
Congratulations, Graham. Well done. You'll march on into the final. We'll study your final in a wee second. And in that final, you will be playing the Alaskan Deep Freeze, who beat the Godalming Goats 214 to 197. So another tight one, Johnny.
It was.
And again, I think Godalming Goats they've really suffered from Pollard just being shit. Mostert not having a great week, and Chris Sutton having absolute goose egg. Did Chris Sutton go off injured?
I have no idea. I wasn't watching it. I never said that, but like I did see he got 0 points, which is like.
I'm pretty sure he must have got hurt. I didn't see him going off, but I was kind of in and out for the game. You know, I kind of fell asleep for a wee bit of it, and it must have been when I was sleeping. Whatever happened. But yeah, a goose egg for Sutton's been a disaster. The defence not done so well, and it just goes to show you how important getting the right defenders is, Johnny, because that's a couple of games we've looked at now that's been the defence, the winning team's defence has outscored the losing team's defence by about 20, 30 points. And it makes such a difference, and it's made a big difference here, you know.
Well,
I mean, I'm in that same thing.
The last game Deep have lost Hawkinson.
They have lost
got 0 points. There's only other tight end is Otten unless he picks a different agency.
Yeah, so that's going to be one to look at one to watch for the final for, you know. I mean, Otten's done okay though. Otten's had his chances and Otten's done pretty well.
Yeah, just not this week, but
hopefully just not this week, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Alaskan deep freeze are, you know, Josh Allen, at quarterback. He always you know, I never think Allen looks like he's had a good game, and then I look in fantasy and he's got 30, 40 points. So where did that come from?
Oh no, it's just mental, like. But
the way he just scores the points, so, you know, and it just go, you know, he rushes in a lot. It's the same with Hurts. I look at Hurts and the Eagles and I think you're playing crap, and then I go into fantasy and he's got 35, 40 points. And it's because he's scoring all the touchdowns, a lot of running touchdowns as well.
Yes.
But yeah, good win for Alaskan Deep Freeze, who will march on into the final, where they will play the Glasgow Eagles. And I mean, again, it should be a tight one. When I look at the players, and I'm looking at Josh Allen, Rashad White, Jamar Gibbs, Tyreek Hill. You know, these are all players in the Alaskan Deep Freezes team, you know, but then I look at who they're playing, and Allen's got the Patriots, who are pretty decent. You know, the defense is never awful. White's got the New Orleans Saints, who defend the run brilliantly. Gibbs has got Dallas. Hill's got the Ravens, who just made an absolute mockery of the 49ers offense.
Myers got a corner.
You know, it's... you know, so that, you know, Cook, even James Cook, who's been absolutely flying, he's got the Patriots, tough games, and then you look at Graham's team, you know, you look at Glasgow Eagles, and Fields has got the Falcons, Swift's got the Cardinals, Etienne's got the Panthers, Lamb's got Detroit, Beckham's got Miami, who's, you know, kind of
Hopkins got Houston, yeah.
And you're thinking, yeah, okay. So whilst I much prefer Alaskan Deep Freeze on paper as a squad,
yeah, I think I go for the Eagles
this week due to matchups.
Yes, I think it should be a good game. Obviously, eventually picks up a tight end, but yeah, I've got to imagine that Graham is going to be very confident going into this one.
I noticed that Alaskan Deep Freeze have not put in a tight end. They've not plugged Otten in yet, so that makes me think they're shopping, Johnny.
Definitely.
And, you know, Kay Walker does really well some weeks as well. That's a big name to be leaving on the bench, you know, if it goes that way. So he does. There's definitely options to be made there for Alaskan Deep Freeze. And for Graham, I mean, if Stevenson comes back, do you plug him back in, or do you think they're going to go more with Elliott? You know, JT's back.
They'll probably still play with Elliott, actually, because he can do well.
Thielen's an option as well, though. You know, he does have Thielen there, and over Hopkins, over Beckham. He's playing at this moment in time. He's playing Hopkins and Beckham over Thielen. So he's got Dalton Kincaid there as well, where he's got Likely in, he's got Goddard in. He's, you know, decisions to be made for both, Johnny.
But then Kincaid's done nothing really since Bassett. What's his name? Came back, Knox. So.
No, he's not. But that doesn't mean that he won't have a big week this week, you know. And it's a big game for them this week. But for the Bills, you know, they need the big boys to show up, and he's definitely one of them.
Well, that's it. They could still win the division. If they win this week and Miami lose, it's up to next week. So
yeah, and it's where they play each other, so it's a massive game. And they could still not make the playoffs if they lose both weeks, Buffalo, easily.
I know it's a bit crazy, that one, like, but and obviously going for the third spot, you've got Kadama Goats against Ancoats Citizens. So obviously the winner goes to Division 1. So
yeah, winners and the loser of that game is going to be dropping into Division, into second, not even going to be in the first division, where they'll be joining Buccaneers and Yorkshire Finns. They're both going to be in Division 2. And down the other side, you've got Lee Vikings are playing against Bedford Brewskis to get into the third division. And the loser will join the Bodam Bears and the Aberdeen Bucks in Division 4. They're already in Division 4. And of course, you've got myself playing against the Darlington Rams to see who can win the Toilet Bowl. But already in Division 3.
Yes. So who do you think are you going to go with Graham, or are you going to go with Alaska Deep Freeze?
I'm going to go with Graham because I'm going to go with matchups over squad. I prefer Alaskan Deep Freeze's squad, but I'm going with the matchups, and I think Graham's players have got better matchups. And the bigger players, the ones who might go off for 35, 40 points, they've got games where it's very entirely possible they will, so I'll go with them.
Yeah, me too. So I'll be agreeing on that one for a change. So we'll move on to Colleen Hill, Division 3. So the Carlton, that's week 17, week 16. So the Carlton crew got over the disappointment of not getting into the Scarborough final by getting into the final of their own division against the Backfoot Panthers. Not the highest scoring game, but enough to get through. And obviously the surprise of the round is Manchester Bees coming up short against the Seattle Patriots.
Yeah, that's a big one, that one, with the Manchester Bees losing against the Seattle Patriots. I mean 213 points is a deserving score to win, but Manchester Bees have been flying all year long,
Tony Pollard effect.
Well, yeah, Tony, but you roll the dice as well when Nick Mullins at quarterback, and that's a big dice. That was a big dice roll. I know Stroud's out, and he's got Richardson on IR, and Stroud, with Stroud being out, he had to play someone, but Mullins done well.
He did.
And 8 points. If he was going, I'll bet you, Manchester Bees, when they were going into the game, they're thinking Nick Mullins, that's where it could cost me. And it's not. It's running backs where it's cost them. Pollard and Etienne, absolute disappointments. 8 points and 8 points. You just can't do that at this stage of the season. And then if we go down further and look at, in fact, it's running backs all the way. Pollard, Etienne, Chandler, and Etienne. Not one of them scored 10 points.
And look at the bench. Ooh. Pickens, 41, Stubbs, 19, Hunt, 11.
I mean, Pickens would have made a massive difference. But you look at it, who you playing Pickens over? You're not playing him over Evans. You maybe play him over Downs. That's the choice here, because you're not playing him over Chandler or Etienne either. You're expecting.
The thing is with Downs, you'd expect Downs to get a bit more with Pittman being out, but I didn't. Minshew just had a Minshew game.
Seattle Patriots are scoring 213 points here, whilst losing Pacheco halfway through the game, and Freiermuth getting an absolute goose egg, not even a target, nothing. So, with Rodriguez sitting here on the bench on 21 as well. So, that's it's a big win for Seattle Patriots, and they will go on and play in the final. Unlucky Manchester Bees, and they will go on and play Carlton Crew. Again, unlucky Bankfoot Panthers. Fraser got Fraser's been flying all week, and his team's been going absolutely smashing it out the park. And then you get to the playoffs, and you get to the big, you get to the semi-final, and you're sitting on 151 points. Very hard to take.
You got to be, obviously, I've just realised, Carlton Crew had Addison. So they lost at the Scarborough by 3 points, and you lost. And you had a good game before, and Hawkins, and you lost both of them. So Minnesota cost you getting a place in the Scarborough.
100%.
At the moment. So
if it makes you feel any better, I had 5 touchdown scorers on, and only Hawkinson was the only one that let me down for just under $1,000. So Hawkinson booted my ass too, so he did. But yeah, losing Hawkinson and Addison so early on, and not playing for the OrkneyBowl, not being in the OrkneyBowl final is pretty hard to take. So Carrollton
Crew, a high scoring team, yeah.
Carrollton Crew really did get a bloody nose this year, and Prescott, Gibbs, McCaffrey, Lamb, what a team, and it's just fell down at the last hurdle, unfortunately. And but it's not falling down here. They're still in the final. They've still got their helmet to play for. They've still got the division to play for, which is massive. Win your division.
Well, that's the thing. You've still got the top. This is another division where the top two teams haven't made it to the final.
Yeah, that's it. And Fraser will need to go and play against Manchester. And it's a tough one to get for him to play for the top division, from finishing in the top two there and thinking you're cruising to playing off against Manchester and 11-3 Manchester Bees for a spot in the first division. It's a big game, that one,
That'll be a tough one.
It's definitely a big game. And then down the other end, what did we have down the other end? So we've got...
some high scoring teams.
Yeah, so we've got the Chicago Scorpions and who's that?
Newcastle Marshals, was it?
Yeah, Chicago Scorpions and they'll be in Division 3, and they will be in Division 3 alongside
Newcastle Marshals.
New Barsden Marshals, who beat the Glenrothes and Skulls. So Glenrothes will be playing off against the Preston Hawks to see who will join them in the third division.
Mm-hmm.
So they will. But yeah, so big game next week, Johnny. Let's go and have a wee look at the lineups. So it's Seattle. Why are Seattle Patriots playing Carrollton Crew?
Because that's for the championship.
Oh, so it is. Sorry, of course. I'm getting myself mixed up.
But they're missing a running back spot. Who's missing?
So yeah, they'll need to go and stick it. Well, they've put Pacheco in injured reserve somehow, but he'll be coming back out of that, would I imagine. Is Pacheco going to be out this week?
Well, he's suffering concussion. No wonder with that is. So he might be out. You won't know near the time.
Rodriguez has got a wee ouchie as well, but Justice Hill's done okay. And now that Mitchell's on IR, I think Justice Hill will be back to playing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an option for him. Does he go with Purdy or Hurts? He's got to go with Hurts. He's got the right one in there. But yeah. And Carrollton Crew have got, Prescott and Lamb. I like that matchup, the Detroit Lions. I know that the defence is better, but it's no great. And I like that matchup for Prescott and Lamb. They should go pretty big. And of course, McCaffrey's playing Washington.
Yes. He's got Schultz back in. Like if he played Schultz last week, he would have won. So he's got him back in the team. Yeah,
but it gets Schultz. And of course, Stroud should be back because he was only a concussion, so he should be back. Tough decision to make for Carrollton Crew. Not a tough decision. You're going to play Prescott, but Wilson could easily make him look silly this week against the Chargers. But whereas Seattle, they've got Hurts playing against Arizona, but then Barkley's against the Rams, and the Rams do well against running backs. Laporta's in Dallas, some tough games there. He's still got Freiermuth in one of those flex slots, and that's harsh. So I can only see one winner this week in this game, Johnny. I can only see Carrollton Crew winning this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too, unfortunately. Just the same with the third place game. I can only really see Manchester Bees beating the Bank Panthers and getting the top division because they deserve to. I know he came second, but the Manchester Bees have been the best team.
They have been, and they deserve to be in the final, but they're not.
Obviously,
Fraser definitely deserves first division from the season he's had as well. But unfortunately, one of them won't be there. One of them will be in the second division.
Yes, but they both had a good year. It's just one's going to be up, one's going to be down.
So. Absolutely.
But yeah, and then obviously you've got Preston Hawks against the Glenrothes Glasgow for the final spot. Will be the final spot for you to finish in the third division and get in your division.
Yeah.
So you'll either get Pez or you get Martin. You got one or the other.
Yeah, we'll take what we get.
So we'll go on to Division 4
and see how that goes. And the Chicago Scorpions will play the New Boston Marshals to see who wins the consolations.
Yes. And here we go. This is the one I was talking about, week 16. The Rockneybowl Warriors beating Sean, pure shot, but you didn't have a very 148 points for Sean. That's awful. And then obviously the tie of the round in this one was 256.82 Leicester Tigers against 258.63 Dublin Everton Blues.
Yeah, Leicester Tigers got done over a little bit there, didn't they? That's a bit harsh.
This is what I was talking about, hopefully no score correction, because this could affect Danny getting in the final and the skara brae. So he's going to be a bit nervous on Thursday.
Well, I mean, it would be harsh. It would be harsh
really
if it was
bad,
a 2-point turnaround, you know, maybe half a point here or there. But yeah, it would be harsh.
I have messaged them. I've messaged them to see if there's a way of turning it off for next year, because it's a pain in the arse.
Yeah,
we'll go to the game of the week anyway, so
you can have them. But yeah, my absolute game of the week. And Leicester Tigers so unlucky to lose out by less than 2 points. You know, so unlucky. You know, Dublin Everton Blues punches with Amari Cooper, and Leicester Tigers fire back with Brees Hall. Two guys who have done not a whole, you know, been not their own standards, their usual high standards this season. But both of them flying this week, you know. And then Dublin hits back with St. Brown, and he turns around and says, "Have a bit of lamb," you know. So
they got 0 points with his kicker.
It was back and forward all weekend long. This one, and it's so close. And this is the rare one where the top defense loses the game, you know, and that could have been a big difference. You know, the defense just makes such a difference in these ones. But yeah, Kamara's let down. If anyone's let down the Leicester Tigers, it's been Kamara, really. Kamara and Boyd, you know. The rest
losing Hawkinson to injury as well didn't help.
DJ Moore,
he got injured early on. I was surprised Moore came back on, because when he got injured early on after that catch, and he was hobbling about the whole time. She's lucky he got 6 points in the end.
It's gonna be a couple. I'm not going to lie.
It was obviously here. Danny had Lutz with 0 points.
But yeah, I mean, it's when you've got when Amari Cooper goes off for 62 points, it's going to win. You're more than likely going to win that week, especially when he's not been there before. So the right week to have to plug in the right player, a guy who could, you know, I would not have been giving him abuse for leaving Cooper on the bench this week, you know.
No, not the way he's been, but he always gets points, just not massive, not points like that. That was just a bit crazy.
So an absolutely fantastic win there for
see what happened to Sean.
For Dublin Everton Blues, and then Sean's had a disaster, the Newcastle Colts. I mean, Warriors 217, 11-3 record, very, very deserving winners and correct winners. But I mean, 148 points is just a disaster for in the semi-final. Brock Purdy at quarterback, you know, would the real Brock Purdy please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
Devontae Adams,
please stand up.
Myers,
49ers will have a much better chance if he just sticks to handing it off to McCaffrey and stop trying to throw the ball, Brock.
I could be all right, but
I mean, to be fair to Sean, you know, he's got Adams and Sutton there at wide receiver. Adams, Sutton, Myers. But some would say you get what you deserve for playing two Raiders receivers in the same game, you know. But it was harsh. Mixon's let them down a bit there as well with only 12 points. But yeah,
but they were behind so far. They had to start throwing the ball about, so they were getting hammered.
So I mean, so it's just been one of those weeks for Sean, I'm afraid, where nothing really went right. All his players had, you know, McCaffrey aside, I wouldn't be happy with the return of it, and maybe Aaron Jones. The rest of them have all underperformed. And Rockneybowl Warriors boys, they've just come out and done what they do, you know. Mostart's not been great, but he's not been awful. Henry's had a good game. Smith and Jigba's had a decent game. He's plugged in Pickens, which is, you know, big pick to put him in, paid off handsomely. and it's all added up to what Orkney Warriors with what would say a comfortable victory.
I would say so, yes. Well, obviously, so that's nice concert,
and then down the other side, you've got Nairn Knights. They've won, so they're in the 3rd division, and along with Leeds Leopards from 3-11. Leeds Leopards are doing exactly what I've done this year. You know, they finished with a win and then running through the consolations, and they're now smashed their way into the fight. They'll play for the consolation win, and against.
Well, this is another case of the workshop of rookies haven't picked their team again because they've still got Sky Moore and IR on their team.
Yeah, so they're done for the season, obviously.
So that same go, they'll be in the 4th. No, they can still finish in the 3rd, but
they can still finish in the 3rd. But the Preston Panthers are more likely to win that one, especially if they're not changing anything. But yeah, the final, the big one, it's Dublin Everton Blues against Water Orton Warriors.
Yeah,
to see who can win the first ever Mulhead championship. And you've got to think it's a close one again. I always look at matchups, always look to see the matchups. And if Matheson isn't playing, I really like Dublin Everton Blues' chances with Chandler plugged in there. He's going to have a much bigger week against the Packers. The Packers are awful against the run, and I mean awful. They always have been. You know, Ford, when the Jets do concede, it's always on the ground. It's to the run. You know, Cup's playing against the Giants. Flowers has got Miami. Hubbard's got Jacksonville. So all of these guys have got good matchups for Dublin Everton Blues. And then you look over at Orkney Warriors, and you've got Henry against the Texans. You've got Mostert against the Ravens. Smith and Jigba against the Steelers. London against the Bears. Tough games, you know.
Yeah.
And no kicker because Hopkins is out, so they'll need to go and plug in a kicker. I'm sure Jacobs will be back in the starting lineup should Jacobs be playing for Orkney Warriors. And that could be a big one for them.
Yeah, it could down to, we'd have thought it's come down to Jacobs after not the best year he's had.
No, but if you plug him in there, he's going to get if Jacobs plays his normal game, he's going to get 19, 20 touches. He's going to get 80, he's going to get 50, 60 yards. He's going to get a few catches. He's going to get you basically 18 points.
You'd have thought so, yeah.
Would you say the same about Odell Beckham Jr.?
No, God, no chance, no.
So
he is a boomer bust. He could give about 20, 30 points, so he could end up with like 1.
So that's where the difference is made. You know, you plug him in over Beckham, and it just makes the team that little bit more solid. Obviously, a kicker will be plugged in there. And this is a close one, Johnny. This is a very, very close one because, as I say, Dublin Everton Blues, who had the massive score this week, all of a sudden they've got Goff against the Cowboys, St. Brown against the Cowboys, Cooper against the Jets, Ingram against the Panthers. And it's a different week.
So who are you going for then?
I'm going to take. This is a real
coin flip.
That is a proper. I'll take. Who are you going for?
Go by how happy he was that he got through. I'm going to hope that Danny says with a happy train it gets the one.
Right. Well, I'll take Water Orton Warriors then. There you go.
It could be anyone. That's the thing. This is going to be such a close final.
It is, but both can win. Both can win here because Dublin Everton Blues could be the first ever OrkneyBowl champions.
Yes.
And still lose this game to the Water Orton Warriors, and Water Orton Warriors could be the first ever Mulhead champions.
I know it's a bit of a mental on that one. You lose your championship game, you lose your division game, but you're in this. You win this skara brae, so that'd be pretty awesome.
Correct.
So anyway, good luck to both of them, and obviously the Preston Panthers against the Workshop Dog Rookies. But to say, you've got to think, you still got Sky Moore in.
Yeah, that's that will be a dead game now. I think they're done.
Well, then Trinidad only has got 2 wide receivers. And one's Tony and one's Johnston, so they'll probably get the same amount of points as Sky Moore anyway. So You'd imagine Preston will be getting into the 3rd division, and the Workshop will be in the 4th division. And good luck between Leeds and Nairn for the winner of the consolation. And for the last spot in the 1st division, who you go for, Leicester Tigers or Newcastle Colts? I would love to see Sean, because I don't want to see Sean in my division. So, okay, Sean, just go get up to the 1st division. Get up there. Get away from me.
I'm afraid that it's going to be Sean that's going to be in your division.
Yeah, I think Leicester Tigers will win, but I can hope.
You can.
Being a Hibs fan, there's no hope of the Hibs fan. I'll put that one back. Being a Jet, no one's hoping the Giants fan either. Anyway, we'll go on to the Happy Valley division, into the West Conference. And
so we have our winners here in Gothenburg Angels sitting here.
Chris got a bit of a scalping.
Yeah, it was an absolute
cheeseheads.
I mean, over 100 points, and at no point in the week did it look anything other than going to be an absolute spanking, to be fair. So, yeah, it was kind of one of those ones for Chris. Very unlucky. It's been a good season. He had that big dip right in the middle of the season, Johnny, where they went on just such a bad run, but it came back at the end and into the semi-finals, all the way to the semi-finals. So, from 4th seed, gets into the semi-finals. Not a bad performance. Very good season, but Walker was a problem. Samuel was a problem. Lost Waddle to injury. Debo didn't have a big week. Laporta didn't have a big week. Lost Hopkins to injury with just 2 points on the board, and all of that adds up to losing anyway. But when you're running into Flacco and Cooper and Ingram, I mean, he's got AJ Brown there, and he's still 290 odd points, So, he did. Unfortunately for Bonnie Rig Cheeseheads, they just ran into a massive one. Congratulations to the Gothenburg Angels, not only for being in the final of the Happy Valley, but for being in the final of the OrkneyBowl, being in the first ever OrkneyBowl.
Cool. Yeah, and obviously they'll be playing in the division. They'll be playing up against the Turbo Titans.
They will be
against 10-4 Yovo. That's a close one, though.
Massively close game, So just 3 points of difference here, and it was a case of Pacheco losing Pacheco. Yeovil winners lost Pacheco
and Sutton.
Sutton with a goose egg.
And Hawkinson.
So 3 players to injury. Lost 3 players to injury. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised they didn't plug in Zamir White. I know it was very late that they decided Jacobs wasn't playing though. And it was on Christmas night, so it was one of the later games, because you would think you would play White over Gibson all day long.
Yeah.
But Gibson wasn't there at the time. That's the thing. Gibson wasn't there at the time. You would think you would play him over McLaurin all day long. But, so, I mean, Yeovil winners have got 2 Commanders players sitting in their starting lineup, and the Commanders are playing the Jets, which is a very tough day, as we all know. They lost 3 players to injury, so I think it's safe to say that it wasn't Yeovil winners' day.
You could say they were certainly unlucky.
And Turbanville Titans, despite Kamara not doing so much, despite Etienne not doing so much, despite Adams being utter garbage, despite Moore not having a good week, despite the defence being awful,
to get through.
They've made it through it, and they've made it through because they had the balls to roll the dice with Pickens.
Yeah.
Who's not been great of late, and they definitely could have went with Washington. They definitely could have went with Shaheed there. You could have even went with Sanders in there, no problem whatsoever. They went with Pickens, and Pickens has had the week. Kittle's had a big week. Evans is back to having a decent week after knocking me out the week before. Jefferson, hello, he'll be delighted he's back. And, Goff's done okay. And Turbanville Titans have done just enough to get themselves into that final.
That's all you have to do, beat the one in front of you or one opposite you.
It's all you need to do. And then what else have we got down here? So Clydebank's Lightning there lost the 5th place game, but that's who will join them and the Dickinson Heath Demons in the 2nd division. That will either be the Bonnie Rig Cheeseheads or the Yeovil winners. And and as for the championship match, massive game. Gothenburg Angels against Turnbull Titans. Gothenburg Angels also playing for the OrkneyBowl, so they're doubling down this week. And, it's a big decision that they've got to make here, Johnny. That Flacco and Cooper worked last week.
But they're playing the Jets this week. But then Goff's playing Dallas, so...
Yeah, Goff is playing Dallas, but,
it's at home and get a chance, but in Dallas, but...
You're not getting nearly 100 points You're not getting 100 points out of Cooper and Flacco on their own this week. That is for sure, and that's going to be a leveler in this game. He's going to need AJ Brown. Gothenburg's going to need AJ Brown to step back up again. Going to need Bejan to have a big game in Chicago. Going to need Mostert to step up against the Ravens. It's going to need Elliott to have a decent game against the Bills, and it's Turnbull Titans are not without their chances. Jefferson against Green Bay, it's Adams for me. Their chances live and die by Devontae Adams. Can Devontae Adams have a Devontae Adams game, or is he going to be? Is it going to be a Devontae Adams game, or is it going to be a Raiders game? You know what I mean?
That's it. And yeah. Matchup wise, you got to prepare the slightly favoured Turnbull Titans team. But like you say, it's all about Adams. You know what I mean? It's going to be.
It's for me. It's all about all about Adams stepping up and doing something. It's all about Kamara as well. Kamara's a massive player in this game. Playing the Buccaneers, who are decent against the running back, but Kamara's been okay all season, whilst not being knocking it out of the park. And I think
you decide that. Can you look at Pickens' normal scores?
Yeah,
and then
not
last
a lot.
Week, so it's not going to do that again. I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, I mean, it's said. He's got the ability to do that. That's the thing, Johnny. Pickens is one. I've been huge on Pickens since day one, since he came into the league. The man he's a man mountain.
Yeah.
And he's got all the ability in the world. The problem is what's thrown to him. And that's been his problem since he came into the league as well.
Very true.
Is Rudolph going to be the quarterback again this week? Is Pickett going to be back?
You got to sit with Rudolph after last week.
It'll be that'll make a big difference if you ask me. But I can't see Gothenburg Angels not winning the tie, though, I'm afraid. I know that the matchups are worse, but even with Flacco and Cooper, and it's a massive decision to the point where I'd maybe be going and seeing what quarterbacks are in agency. I really would, but that will be all up to Gatch and his decisions this week.
I say with the team I picked to win that division, I've really got to go with Gothenburg Angels too. But
yeah, I don't see any. I don't see. I think that, I do see a way where Turnbull Titans win. Turnbull Titans can win if the Gothenburg Angels roll with Flacco and Cooper and they bomb out completely this week in comparison to what, if they muster 15 points between the two of them, then it opens it up for Turnbull Titans.
Yeah, it's even Goff and Dallas.
Absolutely.
Cool. So who do you think is going to be in the first and second division between the Bonnerig Cheesehead and Yeovil winners?
I'm going to stick with my Bonnerig Cheeseheads there. I can't go off them, Johnny. That's who I picked for this division as well, and I'll stick with my Bonnerig Cheeseheads.
Well, I'll go. I would like the Cheeseheads, but I'll go against them. I'll go for Yeovil, so we've got to go for that one.
And then down the other side, the Norwich Mustard Men and the Darlington Dragons will be in Division 3. They got the wins this week, and the Guildford Raptors and the Richmond Reds are the two losers from this week, and they will play off to see who's going to join Division 3 and who will be joining Team Lemony Fresh and Cork Red Army in Division 4.
This is almost sort of going with standards here, because obviously they're down already, and that's a playoff for the. So if Richmond Reds go up to 3 down, it's basically going the way it stands. So yeah. So we'll move on to the Maze House, Division 2. And
so mates out, and once again we have we have 2 surprise victories here. When I say surprise victories, I mean
I did go for
the
Bognor
4th
Regis,
seed and the 3rd seed of one against the 1st seed and the 2nd seed. You know.
Yes, but I like to say I did go for Bognor Regis. I can't remember if I went for Darlow Destroyers or not. I think maybe we both did actually, but I'll have to look back on last week. I'll let somebody watch it and tell us. But yes.
Great win for Bognor Regis Falcons, and the Portland Lumberjacks finally succumbed to the format, losing the 4 that they lost. Although I don't think any of them would have made in that trade for Kelsey. But I mean, Kelsey's been such a disappointment for him after giving away that handful for Kelsey. Kelsey has been so disappointing, but yet they still sit in the semi-finals. But
Foreman did he even play?
I don't think was he on the field?
I don't think he even got on the field, to be honest. And then you had what do you call it? Kincaid with 2 points.
Yeah, 4 Kincaid done nothing. He lost Roberts. Lost Roberts to injury. Yeah, I mean, Kelsey didn't show up. Tyreek Hill had a bad week for Tyreek Hill. I know it's 99 yards, but still a bad week for Tyreek Hill. You know, Foreman, Goose Egg, Wicks not doing a whole lot when you would have expected more from him with all the people that were out, you know, for Green Bay. But Love.
Did he not go off a bit as well? He got battered at one point. I'm pretty sure he went off for a while too.
Who, Wicks? Yeah. No, he was questionable coming into the game, but he did play the whole game. He just the Love was just looking elsewhere and finding, you know, Wicks was more heavily marked given the fact that Watson was out and Reid was out, you know. But yeah, big win for Bognor Regis. Hurt's doing Hurt's things, you know. He didn't look that impressive. He didn't look that great. But you wake up and he's got 30 points in fantasy land, you know. Montgomery's not done great. The touchdowns kind of rescued him a bit, but done fine. White's done fine. Evans has went well. McLaurin's got better weeks than that. Jefferson back. Whoop, whoop. You know.
Duck egg.
Big duck egg from Friarmouth. Walker not doing the best. You've got Hill, and Justice Hill's a good plug-in, and I would play him again this week. It's you know, he has, you know, he's going to get touches, etc. You know, but he's got Jacobs there. If Jacobs is back and playing, then you plug him back in, and yeah, it's a great win for Bognor Regis, and they'll now march on and play for the title, and they will be playing against the Darlow Destroyers to beat the Whitworth Educators. So again, a relatively close one, you know, 14 points. It's not that much of a difference. Kyron Williams has had better weeks than the 20 that he got there, but Jalen Warren's had better weeks than 15, but it was enough. You know, yeah. AJ Brown and Cooper Cup, neither knocking it out the park. Rice having an off week, losing Hawkinson, Deontay Johnson having an off week, your kicker getting a goose egg and still making it through.
I know, it's crazy. You got another tight end.
Whitworth Educators were really, you know, obviously had Addison there. Myers done nothing. Samuel done nothing this week. DJ Moore got hurt. Etienne's done nothing. Diggs has been such a letdown. And it was almost there, you know. But then there you go, Flacco on the bench.
Flacco on the bench.
Flacco on the bench. So that's that's made a huge difference, you know. Robinson on the bench, and that's what happens when you've got these guys on the bench. You've got decisions to make, you know. And I mean, how do you play Robinson over DJ Moore? But if you do, or you know, over Curtis Samuel. But if you do, you're in the final. If you can find a way to do it, you're in the final, you know.
Well, so you couldn't really think of playing Hubbard over Barker, Etienne either, to be honest. So it's a bit of a sore one.
And then, you know, Darlow Destroyers, they've went with as good as they could have went with, you know. They've made a big decision leaving Ford on the bench. It worked out. They made a big decision leaving Brown on the bench after the couple of weeks he's had. It worked out. Yeah. And it's Darlow Destroyers that march on into the final.
Mm-hmm. And of course, nice shout for Pork getting there 191 points for Cavite Porkers.
Yes, so that's them in Division 3. So the Cavite Porkers join Crew Juggernauts, who 283 points, Shawnee.
Yeah, nearly the highest score. They weren't far off it. So it's a bracket.
183 points, but they will play for the consolation bracket winner, and so they will both be in Division 3 next year. Yeah. And Birmingham Giants will play the Sandbach Sunsets to see who joins them in Division 3, and the loser will join the Rousay Cardinals and the Gloucestershire Wolfpack in Division 4.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got the top game, the Bognor Regis Falcons against the Darla Destroyers. I'm going to have to stick with the Bognor Regis Falcons myself. But...
Well, I'm looking at the matchups now, Johnny. You know, Montgomery's got the Cowboys, Richard White's got the Saints, Evans has got the Saints. Got a couple of Buccaneers in there when they've got a real tough game. McLaurin's got the 49ers. And then I'm looking at Darlow Destroyers, and Hall's up against that Cleveland Browns D. Smith's up against the Steelers D. But then it's looking quite tidy for them. They're obviously going to need to go and find a tight end.
Yeah, I don't imagine they're going to be doing Noah Gray.
Well, you know, it's Noah Gray's one of these ones that, especially with the way Kelsey's been of late, it would not surprise me if Noah Gray bounced out to 25-point game and was maybe the difference, you know. But I'm looking at the matchups that Bognor Regis have got, and you know, Hertz has got Arizona, Jefferson's got the Packers, Fryermuth's got a much easier game if he can get a few touches. Walker's got the Steelers, who don't defend the run as well as they do the pass. Jacobs, if he plays, has got the Colts. So I'm looking at those matchups, and I'm thinking Bognor Regis are our favourites for this one, and that would be my choice.
Cool. So we're agreeing on that one then. And for the final spot in the first division between the Portland Lumberjacks and the Whitford Educators, to the number 1 and 2 seats.
I'll take the Portland Lumberjacks to win that, just because they seem to have found a way all year this year. When I think they gave away the house for Kelsey, but they seem to have proved that they didn't need the house per se. So yeah, I'll take the Portland.
Well, I'll go for the Whitford Educators, who actually did manage to finish as the number 1 seed after all that in that crazy division. So
in that crazy 9-5 division.
Yes, it's mental, that one. So
fair enough. As I say, they'll need Diggs to step up and have a big game, you know, and they'll need to go and replace Addison. But if Diggs steps up and has a big game, you know, Robinson will come in for that, or Atwell, or Waller. The options there. So yeah, I think their chances live and die by Diggs. If Diggs has a big game, they'll win the game, and if they don't, then Portland Lumberjacks will steal it.
Cool. So I'll move on to Marvick Head.
Hey, this is a big one. Hey,
well, possibly any score prediction. They did at the moment. There was only 2 points between.
Yeah, so this is Aaron. My laddie Aaron will be playing against my boy Graham for the title of the very first ever Marwick Head champion. Lovely win for Aaron, just stealing it by 2 points. You know, I know that you're talking about score corrections, but we've got to go by what we've got at the moment. And at the moment, Aaron is stealing in with a fantastic victory over the Whitchurch Warriors, who would have been favourite coming in based on 10-4 and 8 sacks.
Well, they lost Sutton and they lost Hawkinson.
Yeah, Sutton, losing Sutton. Sutton's massive there. At least Hawkinson get you some points, but see when you lose a player to injury and a goose egg, it's so harsh. And Lawrence has just been terrible.
Did Lawrence leave the game?
Lawrence did leave the game, yes. Bethart came in.
Yeah, so obviously, and he had Flacco on the bench.
Flacco on the bench.
You wouldn't have played, well, when you're against Tampa Bay, you might have thought about it. But yeah, it was a sore one. But yeah,
Flacco on the bench, Gabe Davies on the bench, Osborne on the bench, even Douglas on the bench here with 15 points, Ferguson with 14. You know, these are actionable. You know, so yeah, it's a hard one to take for Whitchurch Warriors, because they do have a lot of good players sitting there on the bench as well, and it's always hard to pick the right ones when you've got those many options, you know. But obviously, Gabe Davies would have made a huge difference. In fact, they all would have made a huge difference.
Yeah, and obviously, Whitchurch also lost out in the Rousay Cup this week as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy from not getting the right from not picking the right start lineup. I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, who do you play him over? Nico Collins. You could have played kind of Davies over Nico Collins, etc. You know, you could have played him over Chris Sutton, who I've had in home league and not played all season long. You know, but yeah, I mean, Aaron didn't go without his upsets either. You know, he lost Waddle during the game, and if Waddle's out and he lost and DJ Moore with 6 points and not doing anything, they'll be very important for him next week. That both of them are playing and doing well. You know.
Al's got the fight to talk already. Aaron's got the fight to talk already. Graham will be watching. He'll be working for it.
He's on, and he's got the fight and talk. Well, you better hope that Waddle and Moore are fit and playing. But I mean, he could get Robinson back as well. We'll look at that in a minute. But yeah, well done, Aaron. And then we've got Graham, who's absolutely smashed it despite not scoring 200 points. You know, Melbourne supremacy.
Well, he had Addison, so obviously lost Addison. Chandler did bugger all apart to score a touchdown.
Very, very harsh, but I mean, you know, Mahomes hasn't showed up. James Cook, do not talk to me about James Cook. Hasn't showed up. Achan's not showed up. Johnson's not showed up. You know, Adams hasn't showed up. It's just loaded with these guys that, you know, have done, you know, even Kelsey, you can say, has not showed up at less than 15 points. And all of these guys that have been doing so well all season long, they do not show up and when it counts. And Graham's taken full advantage of it, despite Chandler, despite Eckler, despite losing Addison. You know, Mostert not having a great game, Pollard having a bad game, but he has done just enough. But I'll tell you, Graham's got some decisions to make this week, Johnny. You know, you know, Pollard, if Addison's out, then he's got to replace Addison with, you know, probably Shaheed or Judy. But Shaheed or Judy are very actionable, whereas, you know, Eckler's not been.
No.
You know, these types of things. So we'll see how what decisions are made. If we go and look at the game and look at the final and see who's got what, you know. So, I mean, Eckler is playing the Broncos, who are 32nd against the run. So you would think that he has to roll the dice with Eckler.
But then Chandler depends whether Mattison's back. Plus, yeah, it's not good. Addison
massively. Chandler very much. If Mattison's back, that'll lead into Chandler big time. But if he's not back, if Mattison's out, Chandler's up against the Packers run D, which is awful. He's got Cup and Nakua both against the Giants. Can both go well?
Well, they have quite a lot of times. So
yeah, they've done. They can both. They can both coexist for sure. But then he's got
if the Giants just stop the run a bit, he's going to be tossing them all over to those two. So, but only
they will be, and the Rams have got loads to play for. They are in pole position for one of those playoff spots, and it very much could be the LA Rams going to and Matt Stafford going to the Detroit Lions, who haven't won a playoff game in like 30 years. So that could be a massive game, you know. So there's the Rams have a lot to play for. And Aaron, well, he's got, you know, McCaffrey couldn't have a better game. He really couldn't. But T. Higgins hasn't got the best of games. Waddle, he needs Waddle to be back. But even if Waddle's back, the Ravens' D is so solid.
Yeah.
I don't see both Waddle and Hill knocking it out the park this week, you know. You get DJ Moore at the Falcons and playing the Falcons, who have got a decent...
they're quite frisky, that defense, actually. They're quite frisky.
So this is a real tight one, you know, and if Robinson's back, do you plug him in? Do you maybe roll the dice with Rondale Moore? Do you roll the dice with Shakir? Waller's back and got a good matchup, you know, do you stick Waller in over one of these guys?
Well, Waller was still getting the targets last week. He just wasn't catching them. So
yeah, but who do you play him over? Because he's got McBride in there, and McBride's a must start for me now. And then White and Jones in the flexes. I don't see you taking either of them out either. So yeah, that's going to be a close one. But I've got to go with my son. I've got to go with Aaron. So I'm going to go with Aaron beating Graham in a very
I'll go Graham then. Just because I didn't want to feel the poor boy left out. You know. But it's going to be a close one. So
it'll be a close one, yeah. And elsewhere in this in the Marwick Head, you have the Whitchurch Warriors will now play Melbourne Supremacy, the top two from the league. They'll play to see who gets into Division 1 and who's going to be dropping into Division 2 to join the Southampton Dockers and the Kilmarnock Kings, who will both already be in Division 2. And just to get it out there, you did win your game, Derek. You will finish fifth in the Marwick Head. So very well done, sir. Down the other side, you've got the Chester Hurricanes and the Nottingham Rebels. Both got 2 good wins this week, and they'll both be playing in Division 3 next year. And the Plymouth 49ers and the Peterhead Bloody Jets will be playing off to see who joins them in Division 3 and who joins the Bangham Sharks and the St Helen Eagles in Division 4.
So we'll move on to the final division, the Dwarfstein.
The Dwarfstein.
So this might be the other one where the 1 and 2 seeds both qualified, I think.
The very rare where the 1 and 2 seeds both qualified.
Yeah. But they're by far the best 2 teams. So.
Oh, absolutely, and the South London Rebels have bounced back, to form when the week that they really had to get into the final here, and so close.
Larry Cooper,
and so close in playing for the OrkneyBowl, but the Amari Cooper effect, and we're flipping through all of these teams, Johnny, and it's not very often that we've seen Amari Cooper showing up.
No, surprisingly enough, no. He's been in the teams that have not quite made it through yet.
And that's the thing, you see, because he's not had a good season. And it just goes to show you the difference between being able to get to this stage with a player like that. And then, boom, he knocks out 62 points and no one else has got him that's left in because if you've got him, then you've not got their type thing, So that's massive in itself for South London Rebels. And
poor Ross had Reid. When did Reid get called out for the game? Because I had him on my team and didn't play. He didn't play, obviously, but I was working.
He didn't play, it was a late call out. It was on the day. It was just kind of when he was questionable right up to the 90 minutes before when they called him.
He's questionable every week. That's the thing. So because obviously he was in my team this week as well, but it was because I was working. So,
but I mean, there was plenty of time for Kirkwall Cowboys to get him out. There is no doubt about it. So, that's a.
That wouldn't have made a difference, but
it's an oopsie. It's an oopsie you don't need to be making when you're in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the South London Rebels. They've lost Hawkinson, but they do have Kincaid on the bench. If you go that way.
So that'll be, that's kind of all you can do at this stage, isn't it? Is take what you've got. And I can't imagine there's better than Kincaid in agency. So, but no, it's Kamara and Eckler, they're 2 big names for South London Rebels that are going to need to show up now, They're going to need to turn up for the final. And if they do, every chance. And
Alan is still avoiding then Kirkwall.
Just got done. And then in the other game, we had the Kirkwall Raiders, yes, as you say, and Alan making it through to the final. Congratulations, Alan. Well done. Makes up for the heartbreak of the home league, I'm sure. But, and again, this certainly wasn't one at quarterback, because Trevor Lawrence is not doing well. But thankfully, Lanarkshire Bombers had Brock Purdy plugged in this week. And
he's got Nick Mullins on the bench.
And he's got Nick Mullins on the bench. Nick Mullins, do you think Nick Mullins will be the Vikings quarterback this week? I really don't.
I don't know. 411 yards through. Kenny threw 4 picks, but.
So Alan has a potential issue there, and he could plug in Howell. I guess Howell won't have the Jets this week, so Howell can also be plugged in. He's also got Jacobs there on the bench, but big win. Kieran Williams not particularly showing up. Not doing what he has been doing. Lawrence having a bad week, Montgomery not flying, and still getting that win. Debo having a bad week, Laporta having a bad week, but Jefferson stepped up, St. Brown stepped up. Jones had a better week, bouncing back, and the defense done well, and it all added up to a nice win for Alan. And he's got Raiders.
He's going to need a kicker as well. I think his Hopkins out for a bit, or he just look at that.
Yeah,
he lost his kicker. Kicker battle 2-1, 2 points to -1.
he's going to need to go and find himself a kicker. Yeah, that's a hell of a kicker battle, isn't it?
Oh, the kicker battle of the season, that would be so much better if it's 0 points to -1. That'd be one for the record books.
But I mean, it's an uphill battle for Alan, I would say, in the final. You know, South London Rebels have been great all season long. But as I say, I mean, Eckler's up against the Broncos defence, so you've got to expect bigger things from him. But Kamara's up against the Buccaneers D, which is tough. I can see that Tony's already plugged in Gabe Davies. He's taking the Gabe Davies roll of the dice. Now, I do believe that Davies goes well against the Patriots. I'm sure Davies always plays well against the Patriots, so I understand the
He does usually have 2 good games in a row, so it might be enough to get him through.
But this is the time, you know. This is the time where you take the roll the dice. This is the time where you take these chances, you know, and see what happens. Because if you don't and you lose, then you'll forever be, oh, why didn't I take that risk, you know? But I mean, looking at this and looking at the matchups, this is closer than it should be. It's closer than it is on paper, I think, but I can't go against South London Rebels. I just don't see them not winning. Montgomery, and I see Allen's problem being at quarterback, you know, with Lawrence and Mullins and Howe playing against San Francisco. I don't see what quarterback he plays out of those 3, and whatever one he does, I don't see him knocking it out the park. And that's where I see Kirkwall Raiders falling down in this matchup, and that's why I see South London Rebels becoming the first Warfistain champions. Gabe Gamble time, yeah, you better believe it, Tony. You better believe it.
Well, obviously, Tony, after winning the Rousay Cup, which I'll play the video in a minute if I can get it on the computer, is going for the double, obviously, because he's already won a trophy or won a competition this year.
Yep, so he is the first cup winner of the season, the first
Rousay Cup winner, and he's also still leading the charity bowl as well with 1 week, 2 weeks ago. So 1 week, 2 weeks.
Excellent.
What week is it? Week 7. 1 week to go. Yeah. So he's doing well. So I think that's all the league games. I'll try and find the video that I made up for
the cup.
Yeah, I've got it on the computer.
You got it there. Let's get it on. Let's see our cup champion.
There we go.
Yep, congratulations,
Tony. I think you're still on because you get to choose. You have this box. I'll just get rid of the background. You can see it.
Yeah, I can't see that, Tony.
This box. I can't get rid of my background. We're already on. So, Tony, this is at the same box. You get to choose the left hand or the right hand, which one you want for your mystery jersey, signed jersey. I have no idea what's in the binder. I bought them as a mystery. The one I'll do this year, one I'll do next year. So I've actually got another one I won. So next year I've got a choice of 2 as well. So
fair enough.
Would you want the left hand or the right hand, Tony? It's up to yourself. I will write in the box when you tell me. I don't know if I can get rid of my background.
Yeah, that's nice. Right, please. He's picked the right, Johnny. So he'll take the right hand.
I will write her name on the box now, so it's going to be sent to you once we get all the trophies if we ever send them to me.
And congratulations to Tony for picking up the first ever Rousay Cup. Good luck defending it next season, and good luck to everyone in their divisional finals. This time next week we'll be talking about 8 divisional champions, Johnny.
Yeah, we will do. I've got the week off this week because I won my pointless game this week.
You did. But I'm playing I'm playing, I guess, to win the toilet bowl, I guess. But I'm in Division 3, and that was the main thing. After finishing in the bottom half of the league, the plan was to get into Division 3. I'm in Division 3, so I will be seeing Douglas and I will be seeing others next season. In Division 3, and I will look forward to that. But good luck to everyone in the finals this week, especially Aaron and Graham. Let's have a good battle and see who comes out as the champion there.
If you wait
and good, double good luck to those playing for the OrkneyBowl, the two that are playing out for the OrkneyBowl, because you will be our first ever OrkneyBowl champions.
So for anybody still watching, just Tony, so far for the St Magnet division in 2024, we have the Whitbrook Rockstars, EK Colts, Glasgow Eagles, Alaskan Deep Freeze, Seattle Patriots, Carlton Crew, Water Warriors, and Dublin Everton Blues. And then in the Yesneby, we've got Firth Vikings, Waterbury Warriors, Newcastle Buccaneers, Yorkshire Prince, Glossop Fighting Gophers, Whitehill White Tigers, Carroll Harlequins, and Solihull Sharks. Division 3, which is going to be a topper of a division. The Top Head Niners, the Portsmouth Pirates, the Edinburgh Packers, Darlington Rams, Chicago Scorpions, Newcastle Masters, Leeds Lepers, and Ayr Knights. So we've got nice three, so many money players in there. The Mullhead division, you've got Plymouth Argyle Browns, Rotherham Raiders, Border Bears, Aberdeen Bucks, Kirkwall Chargers, Edinburgh Thunderbirds, Yorkshire Los Muertos, and Yorkshire Gold Rush. And in the West Conference, Happy Valley, you've got Gothenburg Angels, Turbo Titans, Darla Destroyers, Bognor Regis Falcons, Royal Ulster Riots, Bonnier Cowboys, South London Rebels, and Kirkwall Raiders. That's going to be a hell of a division. Maze Hill, you've got Southampton Dockers, Kilmarnock Kings, South Carolina Broncos, Double Darlow Diamonds, Belfast Benchwarmers, Burnham Trust Pandas, Dickensheath Demons, Quebec's Lightning, and Marwick 3rd Division, you've got Norwich Mustard Men, Darlington Dragons, Cavic Porkers, Crew Juggernauts, Chester Hurricanes, Nottingham Rebels, London Eagles, and the Gorgie Vikings. You had a wee run at the end there because he was down the bottom. And you've got the Dwarfy Stain, Bangham Sharks, St Helens Eagles, Wilby Patriots, Manchester Spinners, Riney Cardinals, Gloucesterville Pack, Lagersford Lemons, and the Cork Red Army. And I'll catch up with it.
And that's
I don't have to do this again. That's a good thing. I don't have to. This is going to be a lot easier next year with 4 up, 4 down, and 4 safe.
Exactly.
The first year was always going to be worse.
But it's but big week this week, Johnny. It's just as we say, it's 8 finals plus the big one in there. So Dublin Everton Blues and the Gothenburg Angels. Absolute best of luck to both of you. May the best team win. And one of you this time next week will be getting crowned the first ever OrkneyBowl champion. Yeah, good luck to you both. Hopefully, I don't have to do a little thing on Thursday saying, "Oh, by the way," because I really rather not do that. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for that one. Well, I have to, that's my problem. But good luck everybody this week, especially in the Skara final and for your own divisional titles. And for Craig to try and win the toilet bowl consolation bracket for your one. That's the one. Good. Thank you everybody for watching. Oops.